into our second hour of Dungeon World Oldtown. Australia needs to put on his headset. And
I love the smile. Like, I'm here. Yes, we're alive.
so the party has just finished disenchanting and looting the top floor of the tower. The only thing that remains left unexplored are the depths below. What do you do?
I think we need to go down.
Yes, I need to recover my staff.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm still walking around with a skeletal femur, I believe, as a club.
Is this like a special staff, or it's just like your favorite staff, and you
It's
like
my
it?
staff, which is
Yeah, okay.
also enchanted with a light spell, so I can actually see what's going on. So,
That being said, for just going down at least this first flight of stairs, I hand the the handle, the light enchanted handle to Zed, and I go last.
why?
Because once we get to the next floor, I need to grab the medallion back from the Iron Golem.
Yeah, pretty good. Seems good.
Yeah, that is actually a wise plan. All right, then.
Okay, so you head down the staircase to the fourth floor. Estrella, you find no difficulty in taking the medallion from the Iron Golem. It still apparently recognizes you as one of the wizards of old.
And I move back down the stairs.
And then do you all just head straight down to the first floor?
I think so.
Yeah.
There isn't really anything else to.
Okay.
And while Zed is obviously annoyed at the fact of having to wear these robes, he leaves them on just in case there's something else key to the wizards of old.
He also finds them oddly roomy and comfortable.
No, not really. He's wearing them over his other robes, so he's wearing double robes right now.
Over his stylish robes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't like the robes of the dark brown cabal?
Not particularly, no.
So you head down to the ground floor of this tower. You see it in the same state which you left it in. The ground is covered in debris. There are broken pots and broken glass. There is a table resting over a pit trap, which has the squished bodies of many little rot grubs in there. And of course, this dark well dominates the center of the room. And then across from the well, there is another staircase leading down. And that was the same staircase that the skeleton came up through.
What was the total kill count so far on gargoyles? We had two. Did we have 2 or 4 in this room here?
I think it was...
That we came in.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no. Okay, so in this room that we started in, I think 2 came up from the floor, we fought them, then 2 came in from the ceiling and we fought them. Then we went
I thought it was
upstairs.
3 and 2. I thought 5 total.
So
And then we
that
went
would be
upstairs
7
and we
total?
fought like 2 more.
Okay, so roughly 6 or 7 being the point.
I should point out, though, that you would expect to see light coming up out of the well because you've dropped your staff down there, and you don't see that as you come down the stairs.
Okay, so the staff could have been taken. We originally did see that when the light was first dropped down there.
Yes,
Is that correct?
but I do feel compelled to mention that your spell description for light says that the spell lasts as long as it is in your presence. And I would say when you
Okay.
abandoned the staff to go up the stairs, it was no longer in your presence, and so the cantrip, the cantrip finished.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
That's fair.
Alright, so I guess the stairs downwards?
Head
Seems
boldly
good.
down the stairs.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Do you want to take the light from Zed, or do you want to stride off into the darkness?
Okay, maybe I shouldn't go first because I need both hands to operate my weapon.
I mean,
So I can't really be the light holder.
Zed could go first. And he'll be
Okay.
He'll be holding the light source out in front for everyone else.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me just do the thing. Yep. Yep.
Oh, is this like a super long staircase that goes all the way to the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
You notice as you start descending, you expect maybe that there's another floor in between, but it just keeps spiraling down and down and down, deeper and deeper.
Okay.
And you make it all the way to the bottom, and I don't remember what's all revealed. So let me just do that real quick just to make sure. Okay. And you reach the bottom of this staircase, and you also see the bottom of this well. And as you take in the room, you can see that it's like the same shape as this tower, and that there's just a hole in the ceiling that goes upward to where the opening of the well is on the ground floor. There is dried blood on this sort of raised dais that is directly centered beneath the well. Actually, an oddly fresh looking body. Like, it's not nearly as desiccated or as rotted as you would expect. And then you also see Zed's staff laying on the dais.
Let me just say, I totally called it before when I said this was a sacrificial altar, and Zed's staff had been sacrificed to a dark god.
Upon seeing his staff, Zed strides fearlessly toward it in
Okay.
order to reclaim it as soon as possible.
As he's doing that, I try to take a look around the room to see if he's walking into a trap, as I expect he is.
Bah, I've fallen down worse pits.
Why don't you go ahead and roll to discern realities? So roll plus your wisdom.
Nope.
Mark XP.
Yeah, mark XP, first XP of the session.
Oop, I just reversed all my EXP.
Oops. We'll
Okay,
fix it.
back.
How did you undo that? Control Z?
No, like, it was at 10 of 8 before, and instead of hitting up, I hit down and held it down. And I saw all my EXP fly away from me, and I'm like, no, EXP!
You see Zed pick up his staff, and you notice as he reaches in to take his staff that shadows cling to his arm. But then as he pulls his hand out from the dais, the shadows dissipate. Like, it's almost like he's reaching into like a gel and then pulling it out.
That's ominous.
What do you do?
I'm curious what Zed feels.
You don't feel anything.
Do the rest of us also see the shadowy gellingness, or only...
Estrelli was the one who was looking for it. So Estrelli... Well, I'll say...
Like, Zed
I mean, Estrelli could
around his arm.
I would say you
If
all
they're
notice
visible.
that as
Okay.
he reaches for it. Like, maybe Estrelli points it out and he's like, look at that. And then you all kind of notice, like, because it's something that it kind of slips away from the eye. It doesn't draw attention to itself. But once you notice it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
like a column of shadow in there. It's very faint. But
I
it's
would
like
like
that
to
part of the room is darker than the rest. And you wouldn't expect it to be that way just because of the way that, yeah. You wouldn't expect that.
If I could, I would like to spout lore about this phenomenon.
Okay, go ahead and roll plus your intelligence.
And can I use a book on that?
Sure.
How many books do you have left?
I still had 4 left.
Wow.
I was at 6 at one point because I found one,
Yeah.
and I've been using them. So now I'll be down to 3, and I will make my roll at +1.
Okay.
Hey.
Man, that pendulum has swung back in full force.
No kidding.
is awesome again.
Jeez. You feel confident again with your staff. That's what it is.
Yes.
So, something about how this was a place of power that you could draw on, it triggers something in your memory, and you pull out a book and you start leafing through it. And you settle on a page about places of power, and you know that this place is not a sacrificial altar, and that these shadows aren't necessarily like destructive or anything of that nature, but they're more like a veil between worlds.
So
So
if we step something, we might end up elsewhere.
you recognize that this might be more akin to a portal rather than anything else.
Interesting.
All right. Upon reclaiming my staff, I pass off the light source back to Australia again. And then I want to take out the spyglass.
Okay.
And look at the veil through the spyglass.
You look at the spyglass. You look through the spyglass at this column of very faint shadow, and as you look through the spyglass, you see the same ashen forest with the bright red leaves. It looks like the spyglass only shows you one location.
Oh, so if I move around with the spyglass, it doesn't move around the image?
No, it does not. I mean, you can look around from your space, and it like, it's like you're not like in XY space. You're not moving, but you can rotate the image.
So if you like step forward while holding the spyglass, it's probably like unnervingly not moving.
Yes, but if you turn your head, you can see it kind of pan around.
All right. It's a little bit more knowledge.
Also in this room, you notice that there are 4 columns in the, like, kind of, I say corners, but like around, like 4 edges of the room. And then you also notice a large closed stone door to the south.
Hey, stone door. Didn't even see that before.
And there's nothing else down here on the floor?
The floor, like, actually looks like it's made of dirt. So
They ran out of stone.
So what is it in the middle then? Is that like a stone?
it's a stone dais. It's slightly raised, maybe 4 inches off of the ground. It's made of, I'm not sure what kind of stone. Probably not marble, but just like a nice quality stone. It was well polished at one point, though it's become rather dusty over time and, of course, splattered with blood.
I reach out with my rapier and try to pull the corpse off of the dais.
Okay.
I feel like a rapier might not be a tool that you could possibly do that with.
I mean,
They're like really thin and a body is like 100 pounds.
at least.
We're getting a phone call.
I feel like the staff might be better for that.
Safe
Yeah,
to
he
say
can't-
I know he
he
can't
can't hear
hear
you
us, but safe to say he's unsuccessful.
I mean, Zed's already reached through for his staff. Why doesn't Zed just reach over and grab the guy's ankle, pull him through?
I mean, okay.
Seems reasonable.
So you pull the guy's ankle and you pull him off of the stone dais and into the dirt.
Hooray!
Estrella, you found that a rapier was not a good tool for pulling a body, and so while you were struggling with it, Zed just reached and grabbed his ankle and yanked him off of the dais.
Well, I was planning on like hooking his like pants by stabbing it. Like it's a corpse. I don't care.
Right, but a rapier is like it's not a cutting sword. It's like really thin.
Yeah.
And you stab with it. It's like super bendy.
Yeah.
You can
Like
pull-
stab his ankle from the side. Just pull him right off.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pull a 100-pound body with a rapier. They're like
I guess
you can bend them with one finger.
Yeah, it's like it's not a matter of your own strength, it's a matter of the tool that you're using to try to do that.
I should have bent it into a hook.
And broken your rapier. Sounds solid.
Yeah, destroy your weapon in order to be able to have a hook.
I see no reason why that would come back to bite me later.
You could have just simply asked Olivia for like a grappling hook from her bag.
Oh yeah, I probably have one in there. I'd have to look, but that one is in there.
So yeah, you pull the body off of the dais, and it is now laying rigidly in the dirt.
I inspect it. Does it look anything like the other cultists? Or does it have the robes
No,
of
it
the
is
dark brown?
no, it is actually dressed in traveling clothes. You can't tell what gender it was when it was alive, just because it's just like the face has been smashed in. It looks like it fell from the top of the well and landed and broke its neck on the dais.
Okay.
It is weird how oddly attractive that the top of that well seems to be for people. They kind of just get entranced for some reason and just want to murder themselves.
I guess we can look through their pockets. I'll look through their pockets
Okay.
and see if they have anything on them.
You look through their pockets and
Find their horse operator's license.
you find some rations, but they look like they were their rations when they came in here, and they're very stale and hard. Like, you don't think that you would be able to use them. You find a rusty dagger.
Okay.
And
I mean, I guess I take a rusty dagger.
Okay, you can go and add it to your inventory. I think daggers have 1 weight.
Okay.
And you find like 1 coin.
Okay.
I think at this time, Zed turns his attention toward the door.
Okay.
How does the door look? Is it just a regular, ordinary stone door? Is it a big, arching door with runes all over it? I mean, what do we have going on here?
You see a fairly large stone door. It is in an arch-like shape, and it's probably about 10 feet tall and maybe by 5 feet wide, so it's probably more than 5 feet, but not by much. And it's like a double door. But the surface of the door is fairly plain and actually somewhat worn. But you can kind of, if you look down on the floor in front of it, you can kind of see this scraping into the dirt from like the use of it opening and closing.
So it opens inwards.
Yes.
I grab the handle and pull it open.
Okay. You open the door and light streams into these caverns.
You know, Zed's really surprised you haven't decided to use the corpse as a human shield. Seems something that brave Estrella would do.
I feel like Estrella has been pretty brave so far. I feel like he's the one that always charges in and fights people with his rapier.
All right.
Like halfway up the tower, he got like a little bit tired of getting murdered. So he tried to pull back a little bit with that.
Oh yeah, Zed would also like to attempt to recast light on the end of his staff.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll to cast a spell. Roll plus intelligence.
Your luck ends here.
Okay.
I was still successful.
I thought it was 8 or 9 for success.
No, 7 to
No,
9
7.
is a success. So go ahead and choose one. Either you draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. The spell disturbs the fabric reality as it is cast, or after it is cast, the spell is forgotten.
That second one sounds really fun.
The second
Especially
one just
where we are.
The second one just means he takes a -1 on going to cast a spell,
Oh.
which is not fun.
Yeah. It's not a good thing. I worked very hard to refresh my spells to get rid of that last time. So, draw unwelcome attention.
Okay.
You couldn't just forget the light spell? We have 2 uses.
Well, now we have two different people with it. On casting the light spell on the end of his staff, he tosses the handle over to Estrelli, so that he as well has a light source.
Who catches it deftly with his -1 to dexterity.
You hear a scratching sound.
Coming from the new room past the door?
Yes. It's not like it's coming from ahead of you or to the right of you. It's kind of like all around you. Just this sort of scratching, like nails on wood or something, or claws on wood.
Or gargoyles clawing their way through the ground.
No, it doesn't sound like that.
Oh, okay.
We've heard that before.
We are experts in that subject.
Yeah.
It's all the undead buried in coffins below us on the dirt floor.
Ooh, now Australia's interested. Alright. I stride forward into the room.
Okay. So you stride forward into the caverns, and I want to make sure that you're aware that it's not really a room, it is like a series of like carved out caverns. You can't tell if they're manually carved out or if they stumbled across these caverns and decided to create a door to them. Or what?
Or a door to keep them out. Dun dun dun.
With a door that opens into the tower? That seems rather counterproductive.
Yeah. Why does it open inward?
This is just what your light is lighting up. So, as you further explore the room, you'll be able to see more.
I also wish to follow Estrelli.
Yep.
So as you enter this series of caverns, you're in a rather large open space now, and then you can kind of see several branches off in the distance. There's one branch that goes in this direction. I'm just going to use cardinal directions because that's going to be easier. So to the east, there are two that are to the south, and then one that is to the west.
Ooh. Australia starts playing some music, quietly at first, then a little louder. Then he attempts to listen to see if he can tell the shape of the caverns via the bouncing of the music.
Echolocation bard. All right. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm gonna go with you hear it echoing, but you are not trained in any such echolocation abilities, and so you're unable to determine the shapes and sizes of the rooms beyond.
If we were playing Burning Wheel, I could open that.
All right. So, other fantasies and hopes dashed. Do we light up any more if we stride into the room?
Which direction are you striding? Because this is you already in the room.
Yeah,
So
like-
where are we right now? We are like here-ish?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
And this is those are the actual walls then?
So you can tell that these are walls here. There's a wall here. There's a wall here, a wall here, and a wall here and here. You can tell that there's more cavern in this direction. More cavern appears to be in this direction, and this direction.
All right, because right now it's black on black. So it's just
Yeah, I'm aware.
Um,
I think we should probably head this way.
You can
Yeah.
either go east, west, or one of the two southern openings.
Well, we can see the most of the east. It looks pretty straight. Let's try heading over that way and see what it is first.
to
Just
the east.
look in, see how it expands. Maybe it just ends and we can come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, let's go to the east first. That
Okay.
seems reasonable.
I'm gonna go ahead and reveal some stuff then. So, to the south, you see a coffin. And to the north, you see a flight of stairs. And then at the top of the stairs, there appears to be some kind of sarcophagus.
Well, see, I don't want to conjecture or metagame too much, but I bet you the sound we heard was coming from either the coffin or the sarcophagus.
I'm going to head towards the larger sarcophagus,
Okay.
take a look at the inscriptions on it, and try to do some bardic lore with the dead and the undead.
Okay, so let me read your bardic lore just to make sure we're doing this correctly.
Which I may not be.
Okay, so bardic lore. When you first encounter an important creature, location, or item covered by your bardic lore. So are you considering this an important item?
It's a coffin. It could relate to the dead. It does relate to the dead and undead. As far as whether it's important or not, I don't know that.
Is it the sarcophagus that you believe it to be important, or is it the location? Because that'll determine what I tell you.
Sarcophagus.
Okay. So you walk up the stairs to this sarcophagus and you inspect the surface with your light. And since you are carrying your light into there, I will reveal the rest of it. And you hold this handle, this pottery handle that's glowing light from Zed's spell, up close to these carvings that are on it. And you don't know the language, but you remember hearing somewhere that the dark necromancers and wizards would entomb their leaders, like the head wizards or whatever, in these sarcophaguses, and they would entomb them with their riches.
I liked the eyebrow here when I saw that.
What song or story did you hear that in?
Let's see.
Hooray, hooray, the Lich is dead.
The Legend of the Black Cabal, version 2. No.
Oh gosh, come on.
37.
It's not going to be a song, it's going to be a legend. And it's
Okay.
going to be... It's just something that necromancers do, so...
Maybe it's a legend of the particular necromancer you heard of?
Ooh. Let me get back to you on that.
Sure.
Rumored
Okay.
to live in this very tower hundreds of years ago.
Well, the problem is, like, that's kind of like... Because this very tower was the Legend of the Black Cabal. Yet the Black Cabal wasn't really necromancers, they summoned all these golems. So now it's kind of, I don't want to mix necromancers with other dark sorcerers.
Well, the thing
I don't know.
is that this tower is all from these same wizards. And you know that necromancers and dark wizards tend to entomb their leader or their archmage or archwizard or whatever deep below the tower in a sarcophagus. So it could be that you heard about this particular leader of the Black Cabal in a legend that he had been entombed. I would say that's okay.
So now the question is, if it truly is a necromancer, then is it really dead? If you were to open the sarcophagus in order to try to acquire his treasure, is he just going to pop out at you and have at you?
No. One thing to consider is it is necromancers or dark wizards, he said. So it's possible that the dark wizardness is just the golem thing, and they're not actually necromancers. but they could be like both. They could be golem sorcerers and also do a bit of necromancy on the side.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, we have
Necromancers
seen
who
an animated skeleton in this tower, so
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and. I need a name for it though. Can someone just give me like a random fantasy name?
Malthus.
Malthus.
Malphus.
I like that.
Say that again.
Malphus.
U.S.
maybe even type it out for the people who are watching,
Yeah.
Okay.
just in case they wanted the name.
This comes from the legend of the black cultist Malthus, and it's a story about how he rose to power and how he slayed the previous chancellor of their black cult.
Okay, so what do
And
you
then-
do?
Oh, I tell the legend or the relevant parts thereof to everyone else.
And
then what do you do?
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
care
well,
about
attentively.
riches, so.
But the thing is, there might be an undead in there.
Yeah, Zed is prone to just leaving that for later. He wants to explore other parts first. We can probably get
Yeah,
back
that makes
to that.
sense. Yeah, like clear the rest of the zones and then come back for this, so we don't end up accidentally fighting like a horde of zombies and a necromancer.
Yeah,
Or vampire or anything like that.
And we might be able to
Whatever.
find something else about
Whatever
it.
the
Too.
case may be.
All right, so I would like to head down toward the south there and explore that other the little coffin.
Okay, so you head down south, and your staff reveals the rest of this branch of the cavern. You see two coffins, both in the south end of that cavern.
All right. Do I need to like do a discern reality, or can I just look at
Depend.
them?
What are you trying to do?
Well, all right. I just hold my torch or my my staff with its light over the coffins, and I inspect them. What do I see?
You
What do they
s-
look like?
You see two wooden coffins. They look very old, but for whatever reason, the damp of the tower hasn't really extended into this part of the caverns. So, like, you didn't notice it at first, but now that you're thinking about it, the air in here is quite stale and dry, as opposed to stale and, like, moist, like it was in the tower. So because of that, the coffins are actually in fairly good repair.
All right. I use the tip of the bottom of my staff to open one of the lids of the coffin, unless it's like nailed shut or something.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and discern realities now?
And that is a
Plus wisdom, yes. Okay, so
That's just got the rolls.
yeah, today he does. All right, you can ask me 3 of those questions.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Well, considering the skeleton that you encountered earlier, and considering what Estrelli told you about necromancers and dark wizards, you think you should be on the lookout for undead.
All right. So most likely these contain undead then.
Who boxes up their undead? It's counterproductive.
No, they may have cast an area of effect spell after the people were already buried, or the spell could have taken some time to activate. Perhaps even cast on them while they were alive, and they had to be sealed in the boxes to wait for them to die.
Ooh,
Let's see here.
that's dark.
That's very
What
dark.
here is useful or valuable to me?
In this section of the caverns, you don't really see anything of use to you. There might be knowledge inside the coffins, but you're not sure.
And who's really in control here? This is more directed toward the other large sarcophagus that I saw, if I can do that.
I feel like since you're discerning realities in this room and in this situation, it would apply to here. I would say that you feel like you are all fairly in control of the situation.
Okay.
All right. Zed is in control. With that control, he's going to open up one of the coffins.
Okay.
He wants to know if there are actually undead here.
Estrelli warns Zed not to trifle with the undead.
Zed, will you please roll to defy danger? Well, actually, here's what I'm going to say happens, because it might change on how you choose to defy danger. So you use your staff to open up this coffin, and a skeletal arm reaches out, and it tries to lunge for the end of your staff. And I need you to react to that in some way. As the skeleton uses your staff to try to pull itself out of the coffin.
All right, so it has successfully grasped onto my staff then?
Like it has grabbed it, but you think you could yank your staff away or dodge out of the way or something like that. Like it doesn't have a good strong grip yet.
What if I thrust forward, pushing my staff into it in an attempt to like break it or hurt it? Like, could I turn it into like an attack, or I know you said to do a defy danger roll, but I'm not sure if like preemptively counterattacking counts as defy danger. I mean,
I would let you hack and slash with your strength. That's okay.
I mean, he's fully expecting it to be an undead. That's
Sure.
why he opened it with his staff.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
now it reaches
And
out. He just wants to smash it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I said that's
You
fine.
should be able to take your +1 forward because you're acting on the fact that you knew there was going to be an undead in there.
That's true. So you can hack and slash with +1.
All right. And how do I hack and slash?
You
Just
roll plus strength.
Plus strength. All right. So that's going to be at a +1 with my bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a 9.
Okay. So, let me look at this real quick. Boop, boop. Basic moves. So you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you. So go ahead and roll your damage with your staff.
Hey, good roll.
Thank you. That's Zed for you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really rolling good today.
So here's what happens. The skeleton reaches up and grabs your staff, and you thrust it quickly into the coffin, and you actually punch a hole through its head, and it still lunges out at you, and it basically claws its way up your staff to you and strikes out these bony fingers at your face. So please roll 1d6 plus 1d4 forward and take that much damage.
The song even made its way down here.
God damn it, Estrelli. All right, so that was
1d6 plus 1d4 forward.
It went up, it went down. We're gonna like leave the tower, like cross a couple rivers, and these enemies are still gonna be supercharged.
Alright, so Zed, you take 8 damage. Subtracted by any armor, but I don't believe you have any armor.
I do not.
Okay.
Alright, so 15 minus 8 brings me down to 7.
What do the rest of you do as you see Zed battling with this skeleton?
So it's still up, I'm presuming?
Yes.
Okay. Arrows and pouncing snow leopard,
Okay.
probably. One of those types of things.
Roll a volley.
Let's see here. Volley 8.
And is that, like, how does your snow leopard help? Is that just a damage boost?
Yeah.
Okay.
damage boost. And if somehow I get attacked by it, it'll give me additional armor.
Okay, so
Um.
choose one and then deal your damage.
Where's my list of...
You have to move to get the shot, placing yourself in danger. You have to take what you can get, minus 1d6 damage, or you have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. Oh gosh, my internet's doing bad things.
Yeah, mine is doing this.
Okay, so it's just roll 20 then.
Yeah, I'm going to lose an ammo.
Okay, so go ahead and mark
I'll
off one
mark
use
off
of
the
your...
usage.
And then roll your damage if you haven't yet.
Yep.
And then we'll have to wait for it
Five
to come through.
It should be fine.
Okay, just let me wait to see it. Oh! Thanks, roll 20. You're the best.
Yep, I've still got a nice big red error message.
It went away for a second, and then it came back.
And now everyone else disappeared off my list. But
Oh.
if I remember correctly, you can all still hear me.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can still
So-
see everybody. Oh,
It's
now
like
everyone's
rebooting
gone.
me.
Oh, this is great.
Wouldn't it be funny if like the Roll20 servers always like rebooted at like 6:45?
Oh, that
Just
would
so
be
happened-
funny.
It just so happened to be that our D&D session was like right when they had to reboot the server.
Every Wednesday at 6:45 is when they do the
Yeah.
reboot.
Yeah.
We'll have to check, because that could actually be the case.
Okay, so 5 damage. Okay, your arrow goes through one of the skeleton's eye sockets and kind of knocks it away from Zed, and then your snow leopard is able to finish it off and tear apart the skeleton.
Excellent work, Red.
So
The bones
like,
clatter to the ground.
so like does this snow leopard like have the spine in its mouth and it shakes it around and like bones just go flying everywhere or what?
Probably.
I think
That
that's
seems
up
about
to
right.
Hazel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Okay, so rip one skeleton again.
So now, could we possibly get some plus forwards to the other coffin? Do we want to wipe this other skeleton out?
Let
or
me
just-
first try something.
Okay.
I stride into the room, grab my black stone in my hand, and say the words, "Arise, my servants."
Estrelli, former bard, currently a necromancer.
All you hear is the same sort of vague scratching that you heard before.
I take my rapier
How thick
and I
is the
shove
wood?
it right through the second coffin.
That's what I was gonna say. We don't need to open the coffin necessarily. We can just like preemptively murder the skeleton while it's trapped in the coffin.
Assuming it was a skeleton and not like another like human who was trapped underneath like a cryo
Or she'll choose
skull
to
or
have
something.
that coffin just be full of loot and we just destroyed everything.
Go ahead and roll your hack and slash, but I am going to say that the skeleton gets +1 armor for being in
That's
a
fair.
coffin.
I think if he gets retaliated, he should get extra armor because there's a coffin in the skeleton's way.
Okay, so that is a pass. Go ahead and roll your damage.
A lot of threes.
Okay. So, as you stab down into the coffin, and you feel it nick bone, so you know that you've hit it. You also feel something start to tug on your rapier, and it actually pulls it out of your hand, and it goes just slamming into the coffin.
Hmm.
How
But-
deep is this coffin?
It's
Is
not
that-
that it's deep, it's that the rapier's bendy. And
I hope that
whatever
I
was
hope
in the
these
coffin,
skeletons aren't good with precise weaponry.
whatever was in the coffin was able to basically just rip it out of his hand and pull it down So that instead of being like this, it went like this. So it kind of like bent as it went down. Not broken and not permanently bent, but
Oh,
It-
I stepped back from the coffin thinking, I didn't need that anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess we can just shoot at the coffin.
I cast force magic missiles if everyone else is okay with an action.
That seems good.
okay. Roll to cast a spell.
Just put it to the committee.
So go ahead and choose one and then roll your damage.
Let's see here. That would be unwanted attention and
-1 ongoing, or forget the spell.
no, I was choosing
Oh,
unwanted attention,
okay.
and it's 2d4 damage. So. And these are force bolts, so they should be splintering wood and bones alike.
So you slam these force bolts into this coffin, and you hear this hiss of air, almost like if something were like shouting or growling, but there's no shape to it because it's just bones. And the coffin bursts, and this skeleton rises from it, and it comes at you, Zed, and it wraps its fingers around your throat and pins you against the wall. What do the rest of you do?
I want to attempt to free him from the bonds of being pinned to the wall by a skeleton.
That's strangely specific.
How do you do this, Olivia?
Well, since the skeleton is occupied with holding him to the wall, it seems like it might be difficult for him to defend himself against arrows. So could I volley, or not, could I cold shot him?
I'll let you have that.
Okay.
What's wrong with just, squeezing in between me and it and pushing it away? Or
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a lot better at bows than I am at strength. And
right, I'm just
I
worried
have-
about the logistics of arrows coming through a skeleton.
I'll be careful. Don't worry. It'll be fine.
Okay.
9 on dex.
Okay, so let me read the specifics of your called shot.
It looks like I think on called shot I can pick the effect, but it does no damage
Let me check it.
on a partial.
Oh, you were supposed to name your target.
Okay, the target is the skeleton.
No.
Oh, like the part of the skeleton?
Yeah.
Okay, the arms. The arms of the
Okay.
skeleton. So that they drop what they're holding.
Okay.
I appreciate that you're trying to shoot the part of the skeleton that's the closest to Zed's neck.
Yep. I'm good at archery though, so I'm being careful not
Yeah,
to impale you with an arrow through the neck.
Zed's faith in you diminishes slightly, but
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't impale you through the neck, and I do.
You managed to hit the joint of the skeleton, like its elbow joint, and that causes its fingers to kind of like flex open, and Zed is able to get away if he so chooses.
yes, he's either going to take his staff and swing it at the head or try to kick it away. Probably take his staff and just swing it at it while he steps off to the side. So
Okay, so go ahead and roll hack and slash plus your strength.
okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage. Okay.
I mean, you did say that I had a chance to get away. It was kind of like a seizing the moment of the opportunity thing to try to
Yeah, but you rolled a 7. So, I mean, you were able to sidestep and you swung at it. So I just have to do some math so I know how much health it has left. And then I'll tell you what happens.
That's probably going to kill me.
Well, it shouldn't have any more damage buffs. That's like just a one-shot thing. So,
Well,
in that
that
way-
was the other skeleton.
oh, that was the other skeleton.
Yeah, I'm probably going to die here.
Who will be?
So you deal your damage, and as you deal your damage, you see the skeleton reach out for you again, and it wraps its bony fingers around your neck again. Like you swing at it, and its head jerks to the side really hard, and it just lumbers towards you and reaching out. What do the rest of you do?
The tanky skeleton.
I knowing that the black magical pebble I have has something to do with necromancy and will probably come in handy. I think maybe it might be used to disperse magic. So I hold it in my hand and I thrust it into the head of the skeleton.
So what are you trying to do?
Basically, I'm using it as an improvised weapon and trying to smash the skeleton's skull.
Okay.
For potentially more or less damage. Possibly empowering the skeleton with
Roll
ridiculous energy.
Hack and
We don't know
slash
that yet.
with your strength.
Let's see what happens. Ooh.
11. Nice.
Your hand punches through a weakening in the skull that Zed made when he cracked it over the head with his staff. And your hand kind of gets stuck in there, but like the body goes limp.
And does the fact that he had the pebble in his hand mean anything?
It
It
doesn't
means
have-
I now know that this pebble has powerful anti-undead properties.
Oh, I probably should have had you roll damage. Roll damage real quick. Yep, that still happens.
Time didn't rewind on us there.
Well, I mean, I would have let it happen anyway because I already narrated it, but...
Oh, wait, hold on here. I just read Called Shot again. When you attack a defenseless or surprised enemy at range, you can choose to deal your damage or name your target and roll dex.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that more in the future. I can just be like, here's some damage, no roll.
Well, it wasn't necessarily defenseless.
Yeah.
I mean, I did let Hazel use that, so it was defenseless to her shot.
Okay, Estrella, you can see that Zed has gotten kind of banged up from these skeletons. Just saying.
I suppose.
Just saying, Zed's seen better days. He's got several wounds.
I happen to have a certain bandage that is not questionably murderous. I toss that to Zed.
What do bandages do again?
You heal 4 HP.
And then I take out my violin and I begin to play a small tune.
Okay. It sounds like you are attempting to weave a spell into a song. Is that correct?
That I am.
So choose an ally and an effect, and then roll plus charisma.
I'm going to choose Zed as my ally. The effect will be to heal 1d8 damage. And let's see these dice roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
Hey.
Roll 1d8, and Zed, you will heal that much damage.
And I
Here
gain
comes the
4
one.
from the bandage as well.
Do you use the bandage?
If I give him advantage and he doesn't use it, I am going to slap him.
And it's not the questionable bandage?
It is not the questionable bandage. I
Okay.
still have that one.
All right. So
So
Between
yeah,
the song and the bandage, I heal 8, which is good.
yes.
Because if I remember correctly, I just took 8, so that brings me
Well,
right
there
back
you
up where I
go.
was.
Estrella, you also realize that you are still missing your rapier.
Yeah, the skeleton didn't seem to have that. So I guess I need to look into the coffin to see where he stored that away at.
Well, the broken remains of a coffin, anyway.
You
Yeah.
see it buried a little bit under the debris, and it's embedded itself in some of the wood.
Is it damaged from any of the force missiles?
No.
Okay. I pull it out of the wood.
Okay. You have your rapier back.
Huzzah!
And with that, I think we're going to take our second break.
Sounds good.
Okay.